Okay. Hi everyone, thank you all for joining today on Friday. We're super excited to be here today for the third Coding in Corda series. We have Iryna with us today, and yeah, first of all, thank you all for joining us. If you could please put in the chat where you're all joining from, it'll be really cool to see where everyone's coming from all over the world. And I'm going to start with an introduction to WWCode and talk about our mission and a little bit about the WWCode blockchain community, and then I'll hand it over to Iryna. So hi everyone, my name is Sapphire Duffy and I'm a leadership fellow at WWCode, and I lead the blockchain and data science track with Naomi Freeman. So we're both actually looking for volunteers, so if you're interested in helping out with the blockchain train track at all, please reach out to us. And this is the team behind the blockchain track. I want to give a massive appreciation to the team and the amazing work everyone does. So a big, massive appreciation to you all. And our mission, if you're not familiar, WWCode is a global nonprofit organization dedicated to inspiring women to excel in technology careers. And our vision, we envision a world where women are proportionally represented as technical leaders, executives, founders, VCs, board members, and software engineers at all levels. And across the world, we have 230,000 members. We're keep growing, and we're super happy that the number is this high because it's crazy how much it's growing, and we're super pleased. So welcome everyone. Across the world, we have 70 networks in 20 different countries, and we have members in over 97 countries. And so far, we have run over 10K events, and we give out $1,025 worth of daily conference tickets and $2 million worth of scholarships. And on the WWCode website, you can get access to jobs and resources, and there's infinite connections there. So if you haven't registered as a member already in the website, please do take a look there. And we also have our newsletter that comes out every week. And our movement, as the world changes, we can be a connecting force that creates a sense of belonging while the world is currently being asked to isolate. So basically, we're all in this together. We're all here for you and here for each other. And the code of conduct. So please take a look at our code of conduct. We follow a strict code of conduct that's embedded into the community, and we encourage our members to have an inclusive mindset. If you feel something's not right, you can fill out the incident form and we will take a look into it, or you can always email Naomi as well if you want to, if you'd rather do that. But we want our community to be a place where everyone feels safe. And a little bit about the track communities then. So we got a lot of requests from women about a year and a half ago that wanted to deep dive into technologies. So last year, the 6 tracks were created. And this is the blockchain track. So if you're not a member already, please do sign up as a member on our blockchain on the WWCode website. So it'll be www.com/blockchain. We run tech talks, workshops, tutorials, training, live stream events, and study groups, and a lot of other things we have planned for the future. So if you're not a member of our Slack group, you could join that as well. I'll put it into the chat. And there's also a Corda study group chat there as well. So you can all connect with each other after this study group's over. So I'm going to introduce you now to Iryna. So Iryna is a developer evangelist at R3, and Iryna is her main effort is to encourage with the developer community and facilitate a great experience with Corda. She works on developing new series of tutorials to learn Corda for developers with no experience in blockchain. And previously, she was working as a software engineer at several fintechs and gained her doctoral degree in performance optimization at Imperial College. And she understands the importance of easy to follow, short and focused tutorials. So now I'm going to pass it on over to you, Iryna. I'll stop sharing my screen now. There we go.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. So just as Safira told before, I'm in London currently, and this is our third webinar, kind of interactive learning session on Corda. So here I'm giving a lecture. I give a bit of theory, and then we go to online IDE and look at the examples. So please also, if you can email, give me your address on the chat, your email address, to keep in touch, and for the free Corda certification exam. So I'm Iryna from R3. It's a company who design and develop Corda, and I'm leading this session today. So I just joined recently, several months ago, and I found that Corda platform is like super hot, and I'm developing series of educational pieces for people on Corda. But the important thing is really that I want to get your feedback from whether the way I explain is useful for you. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. So it's very important for me to interact with you. And in these like interactive like learning sessions, which lasts approximately like 1 hour, there will be a specific periods where I will be reaching out to you, asking for your feedback. And I will, so on each block of concepts that I'm providing. And for me to understand that, your comprehension on each area, if I explain it well, or you want me to repeat again. So please, like halfway through, I'm going to stop for 5 minutes, and I will put anonymous Google survey for it. Let me share my screen. Share. Can you see my screen? Let me open participants chat. Yeah, I see. I have the chat. I have the participants. I hope you see my screen, guys. So yeah, I'm in London, and it's like 36 degrees here. Could you please like some people already like message where they are from. Like if you didn't message where you're from, where you are currently watching us, please, please message to us. We're like very interested to hear where you guys from. So so today is our like third session on Corda 101. Please, if you're interested in Corda, join like Slack, Corda Ledger. There is documentation, docs.corda.net. There is a GitHub repository. During the session, I will also give a GitHub repository for the samples that we are playing with today. You can contact us on the URL at r3.com or tweet us, so please. So today's session, we are going to look at two main subjects, like communication between nodes and concurrency in Corda. We go through easy examples, and concurrency in Corda I will show locally, and communication between nodes will go on online IDE. I will provide the link. So let's, so previously previously we were looking at our examples in online IDE. I'm posting the link for online IDE in the chat, so please use this link because it will automatically load examples for this session. And during the chat, we'll also want to show you, want to remind you that on our previous lectures, what we did, so this one is see, like this one is a bootcamp. It's not exactly the same link that I posted to you. So it's very important for you to copy the link that I gave you, and it will load the right example. I just want to remind you what we've been looking at our previous session. So this is like Corda 101 Java. This is what we need. Let me make it bigger. And if you go on workflows, source, main, and then we went through Hello World. We built our first CorDapp, and now we are looking at ping pong. So it's two nodes that communicate between each other, and we're going through this communication. And so I will remind you again how we built it. So we used Shift Command P, and then we deploy nodes, Corda deploy nodes. And so the nodes will be deployed. So I need to wait a bit. So guys, if you can like process with me, go to this example and press Shift Command P. I will put it in the chat. And type Corda deploy nodes. I'll put it in the chat again. And then after that, Shift Command P, run nodes. So Shift Command P, and then run, and then there is Corda run nodes. Let me start running nodes. So also want to show that you can, the node will spawn separate terminals. So what Saba, so I can't see you chat, Iryna. So I just posted a bit to all panelists. I just posted to all panelists in the same chat where Beatrix and Saba were messaging. Okay, Saba suggests to zoom the screen, so I will zoom it. Is it better now? Hope it's better. So, and here we please, Beatrix, can you please tell me that you can see the chat? This is exactly where you messaged. I posted it again. So here you can switch from drop down to navigate between different nodes. So we deploy 3 nodes. So you can see it here. And please focus only on flows, workflows, source, main, Java com template flows. This is where our flows are. The rest is not relevant. The rest, like all other directories, are not relevant for today's session. So please, for example, in the party B, if you can type start, then name of the flow, we have pin flow, then space, and our constructor takes 1 parameter, recipient, so we need to type recipient, semicolon, and party A. So since we're on party B here, we want to send message, our ping, to another node, which is party A. You can do opposite from party A, send the same to recipient party B. And then we send ping, and we also receive back. So we send ping, and then we receive back on party A. So party A is not showing anything. Let's kind of look at it a bit more. Why party A is not showing pin that we sent. So let me open. This is responder flow. So responder flow received string and sent back PON, but it returns string, right? But it's not showing anything. So I want to, via terminal, there are several commands that I want you to make aware of. It's a flow list, which lists all flows available on the node. So all the kind of flows is your business logic that you wrote. Flow watch shows all the flows currently running on the node with the result information. This one. Flow start starts the flow. This is exactly how we started. We typed start and pin flow. And also command takes the name of a flow class or any ambiguous substring. So that's why it's kind of like there's a shortcut just to type start rather than flow start. And kill, it kills the flow. So just wanted to show you that we have these commands, and let's see. Let's try to type flow list in the terminal. Oh, not here. Flow list in our terminal and see the list of the command. Oops. In the terminal, flow list. And here we see a list of all our flows. So hello world that we did previously, then pin flow, sleepy flow, and wakey flow. So we'll go today discuss today sleepy flow and wakey flow. It's about concurrency. Currently we are looking at pin flow, but I want to show you a way to interact with your node, how to start flows via the terminal. So this is like flow list, and then start. So as it says, like you can start command takes the name of a flow class or any ambiguous substring. So if I just put this pin flow, it will be enough. And then recipient, since pin flow takes in the constructor one argument, so we need to put recipient here. So okay, we now I will share my slides later. But now please try these commands on the terminal so you can communicate with the node. So let's go through annotations. So we already previously covered annotations. So any flow from which you want to initiate other flow must be annotated with initiating flow. Let's go back to my pin flow. So this is initiating flow. And if you wish to start the flow via RPC, startable by RPC. And so let's also remind ourselves that flow, if you want for class to be recognized as a flow, which is like our business logic, basically where you put your functionality, you should make your class subclass of flow logic. And the constructor can take any number of arguments. So here we have only one recipient. And of any type that we want to pass to our function, the generic of flow logic, this like type string, indicates the flow return type. So we have string here, and then it returns string here. So this one is a string. And each flow logic subclass must override call. This is function which where we put our business logic. In order for nodes to be able to run multiple flows concurrently and allow flows to survive node upgrades and restarts, flows need to be checkpointable and serializable, and that's why we put suspendable here. So this is achieved by adding this annotation suspendable. On the point flow, since it's a responder flow, we need to annotate it with initiated by initiated by annotation on line 15. That takes one argument, the initiating flow. So it creates this link. Arjut asked to share previous recordings. I think I have it. I will just like put it. Sophia kindly say.
Nothing. I'll update it.
Yeah, if you, oh, 1 second. Is this one? Session. So. So this initiated by takes one argument and creates this link. In order to create a communication session, we need to, if I switch back to pin flow, in order to create a communication session, we need to call initiate flow and pass one argument to the recipient. So this will return flow session. And flow session is a handle on the communication sequence between two paired flows. So we have these like paired flows now, pin and flow, and this is our handler flow session. And so once we have flow session object, we can send arbitrary data to counterparty. And also want to follow like party here, class represents identity on Corda. So when there is a new identity company comes to Corda network, goes through KYC process, it has to be verified that it's a legal company, and then when it's on Corda, we communicate companies are parties. It's like identity on Corda. So flow session, our handler provides us with several functions. Let me show you. So it's like send, which sends the flow object, then receives an object of type or receive type, then send receive, that sends object and received an object of a type received by type. So in our example, let me switch to our example. I want to show that I'm through this flow session, I'm calling send, and I send a string as an argument, and then I'm receiving back from the pond flow. So on the pin, I'm sending a pin. On the pond session, I'm receiving this, and I'm sending back pond. From pond, I'm sending back to pin flow, and here I'm receiving it. So it's also, it's more efficient to use it in one go, in like one function, send and receive. So we can try with this one, and it just as a convenience function. So once we have flow session object, we can send arbitrary data to counterparty. The flow on other side must eventually reach receive goal to get this message. So if you have on one party send, another party, counterparty, is supposed to receive it. So so that's what we saw here on our example. When we from party B, we started pin flow, and we received pawn back. So since so in our party B, party A, we saw that there was no any return. So so there was an action on the initiating terminal from party B, and it's expecting something to be returned. So it was kind of waiting, watching for the flow to come back, while responder didn't print anything, like party A you see here, and it can't be listening on the to the node by default. So it will take too much resources. That's why we don't see any string on pawn flow. So if you want to see a type of, you need to type on the counterparty node, our party A node, flow watch. It's exactly like flow watch, what we were seeing before. And then here it will watches all flows currently running on this node. And if from party B we call again, we receive pawn here. And if we go to party A, we see that now it watches and we see pin here. So the communication has happened between these two nodes. We can also wait to receive arbitrary data of specific type from counterparty. So again, it applies corresponding send call on the receive on the counterparty flow. So if my ping was only received, not sending anything, then my counterparty pawn would just send, not receive anything. So it should be balancing it out. So because otherwise, if there is there are like several scenarios that can happen. So if we never receive a message back, so if in the current design, the flow is paused until the node owner will kill the flow. So there will be like a deadlock happening there. If instead of sending a message back, the counterparty throws an exception, like flow exception, then this exception is propagated back to us, and we can use this error message to establish what happened. So we receive another scenario is we receive a message back, but it's a wrong type. In this case, flow exception is thrown. And our last scenario is when we receive a back message and it's a correct type. So upon calling receive or send receive, flow logic is suspended, it waits and sleeps until it receives a response. So sorry. Let's now see how we can check this message that the message is a correct type. So now we send like a string and we receive back string. In order to see that it's correct type, we need to uncomment these lines. And we receive the data wrapped in untrustworthy data instance. And this is a reminder that the data we receive may not be what it appears to be, right? Because now I'm running these two nodes by myself, and I know what's other flow initiated by flow give back to me. But if there is two companies in completely different locations, I might not know. And I want to make sure that types are correct. So that's why I'm having this untrustworthy data type. So we must unwrap this data using like lambda function, like what we do here. And we can also insert some assert. So I want to make sure that I receive pawn and then I return it. return the response, which is our stream. And the same is happening on a point flow. To receive the data, we want to make sure we need to unwrap it, check that it's pinned, and return the message. So so this message will go to string S. Then pawn flow will send the pawn to the counterparty, which is initiator flow, which is a ping, and will return the initial string. So let's save it and redeploy nodes again, because if we run now, these changes won't happen, won't be affected. So let's press again Command Shift P and deploy nodes. So it's asking here, I already deployed the nodes. Do you want to redeploy them? Continue. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, just like type on the chat. I'm watching it here, and we'll answer all your questions immediately. So it's successfully deployed. Now let's press again Command Shift P and run it with our new checks on the receiving data. So again, it spins like all these nodes, and we can jump between them through this drop-down menu. So when we see that running P2P messaging loop, it means that exactly what Corda is P2P, has P2P communication, means point-to-point communication. It means that it's ready, and we can communicate between these nodes. So let's start pin flow, receive pin, and since I'm on the party B, I will start party A, and press enter. And pinpoint on party E. So it doesn't print anything, so I need to do flow watch. So run flow watch on party A, on party B, and rerunning the previous command. On party E, I receive the ping. So yeah, so now we saw the communication between two nodes on Corda. We send messages from pin flow. We initiated the session. We send the message and receive in one go. With more like a convenience function. And if you want to make sure, if you want to do some checks on the data, it's like untrustworthy data that we receive from the recipient. We unwrap it. We can do some assertions, and we respond. On the pawn, it's received the session. It's received the message from pin. It does the same checks, and then it sends back pawn. So we just like went through this. So let's look at the concurrency. We will look at the concurrency through Sleepy Flow. So I will show you the code on the online IDE, but I will run it locally, and I will tell you why. So in a second. So we have a Sleepy Flow. So this example demonstrates that the Corda node executes flows concurrently. Assuming no parallelism in the Corda, on open source Corda, the node executes one flow at a time. While one flow is executing, all others are sleeping. This is the same that happened in pin pawn. While pin sent a message to pawn, it was sleeping, waiting for pawn to reply. And it all happened on one thread. And when pawn received sent a message, it was waiting for pin to reply. So this is happening in our next example. The flow is suspended. So we have a sleepy flow, which is an extension of the flow logic. So this is sleepy. It's not initiating flow. It's because there is no corresponder flow. It doesn't need to always have corresponding flow. Just like here is a small example on concurrency. And it takes the constructor takes message, number of messages that we want to send, and sleep time. So what it does, it sends a message in a loop, and then it sleeps for a bit. Then send a message, sleep for a bit. That's it. It only does this little sleeping. And so the flow is suspended and waits for response from, so this flow is actually like checkpointed and stored on the disk to give way to other flow to execute if I want to run two flows at the same time. In this way, it won't occupy system resources. So if I want to run two flows, two sleepy flow, and show how they run, how they kind of fight for resources concurrently. So I will show it to you locally. So this is my sleepy flow example on my IDE, so the same. And am I running the flows? Let's make sure I'm running the flows. So I'm having, locally, I'm having party A, which says here party A, and party B. And I will interact via Node Explorer. So it's more like the same as a terminal. It does the same functionality, but if we can send we can start two flows on the node, because if I start two flows via terminal, I have to wait for another to finish. On the Corda or Node Explorer, there is a functionality that kind of I can just start new flow, and then we'll see how they fight for resources. So I will send you a link for Node Explorer if you want to install it locally in our group chat, and also send you a link for the examples. So how we want to set up Node Explorer. In the settings, I put a path to my Corda Java, build nodes party A CorDapps. I will put this, we'll copy this to our chat so you know how to set it. Node Explorer, settings, path to your CorDapps. And then on the transactions, I start a new transaction, and I will start two flows. One, I will start like here, we have the same list of flows that are available. So I do sleepy flow, and I will write message B. I will put 100 messages and half a second, so it's like 500 milliseconds. And I will type execute. I also need to refresh because I'm just extending 2 messages through the phone. Let's see how it goes. So you see here that we have been born, been born, been born. So the one while flow sleeps, another one wakes up and executes. So over here we have example of concurrency. Just a reminder, concurrency runs several flows on one thread. So here we see how they fight for how we like sharing resources between these two flows on one thread. So bean has finished, now Bon is finishing, and it's like sleepy, it goes like a bit slow. So so two flows running, sleepy flows, sleeping and running those and printing those messages concurrently. Let's see now. Yeah, so it finished. Let's now see how Wakeflow is doing. So on the Wakeflow, I have the same in my online ID. Let me show you. So Wakeflow online ID, it doesn't sleep. So so we can show here that flows don't execute in parallel by removing this sleeping and produce a Wakeflow. So this example of Wakeflow, it just prints the message, and let's again try to run it through our Node Explorer. So we change to Wakeflow. But now, because it doesn't sleep, it doesn't have this pausing, I need to run it quite many of them. 5 million. And now let's run very quickly. Running, starting another flow, which is good. And go to my ID. Since there is only one flow is executing, I'm waiting for it to finish, and then only when, because there is no sleeping time, only then when first flow finishes, second one starts. So there is no concurrency, and we need to kind of understand that flows are suspendable only when we ask them to sleep. When we told them to sleep, then the flow goes suspends. Otherwise, like here, we see that the first flow is running, so there is like 3 million messages. While another is still like executing. So now the first one finished running, and now we have the second one, which finished running too. So I want to point out that we sleep here in our code. In our sleepy code, we put sleep, no thread sleep, because thread sleep won't make the flow suspendable. It won't suspend it. We need to sleep. We need to use this. This sleep is flow logic. It's implementation of flow logic. It's a code implementation. When this will signal this sleep will signal to the node that it has to suspend it, write on the disk, and let other flows to use these resources. So today we learn ping-pong flow. We learn about send receive functionality. If one party sends message, another one should receive it. There is a convenience function send and receive. And we looked at the example ping pong, and we look at the concurrency. So we looked at the untransported data, that the data we receive from counterparty is wrapped with the inside this this instance, and we need to unwrap it. We can also do some assertions in it. And for point flow is the same. And then we looked at the concurrency on Corda open source, where we have where we run two different flows. One is sleepy flow, which indicates to the coder that this flow has to be suspended on the disk, has to be written on the disk, and give resources to other flows to write concurrently. So we saw this when we ran two flows, bin bon, while bin was sleeping, bon was executing. And with the wakey flow, we didn't have any sleep, so it was awake and it didn't execute flows concurrently. We had to wait for one flow to finish execution, and then the second would start. So I would ask you to please give me your feedback if you understand what you think of this session on the form that I provided. It will be like a quick questionnaire to make sure that you understood what I explained to you. And also please send me your email. For people who attend these sessions, we'll provide a link. We'll provide a discount for free Corda exam, which usually costs $150. So please fill the form and provide me your email if you didn't put it on the chat already. So I saw in the chats Saba sent your email, and Ringal sent her email, and Beatrix. So please, Maria and Arjit, if you would like to have a free code exam, send me your email. So that's it for today. On the next session, we'll learn about persistence. So we learn about on how to store data on Ledger, which is basically distributed Corda main functionality, DLT, distributed ledger technology, and how to persist data off Ledger if you want to just create tables off Ledger and that are visible only to you, that are not so we'll look how to create those schemas and we'll look at two examples, create save data on Ledger and off Ledger. I would really appreciate your feedback, and please join me on next Friday at the same time. I'm looking forward for you guys. Please come and we'll provide you with a free Corda certification. Thank you so much for attending. So share the coding on the GitHub. So I put GitHub link. Arjit, it's on the chat. Let me see where I put it again. And recording will be provided by Safia.
The recording will be available in a few days.
Mm-hmm.
I'll post it into Slack group when it's ready.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Maria. Maria, if you could please give me your email so I can track and then provide with a discount for the Corda exam.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Iryna. I'll just close the session today then with a few slides from WWCode. So I will start sharing my screen now. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. Safir, is it possible for you to save the chat of the session? So with I need the emails.
Yes, of course, I can do that for you. I'll send
Thank you.
you in Slack afterwards. Thank you so much, Iryna. That was a fantastic study group today. I learned so much today again, like I did last week. So thank you very much. And we'll get those recordings up in Slack, and I'll send it to you as soon as it's ready as well.
Yeah, thank you guys. I would really appreciate your feedback on the questionnaires that I sent. If you have any other feedback, please provide. We would love to hear back from you. I would like to make it as interactive as possible. Thank you.
Thanks. We'll also share that feedback form into our Slack Corda study group channel as well, just in case people didn't get it there. But yes, so as I mentioned at the start, we are growing the volunteer team in blockchain. So if you've been interested in joining the leadership team as a lead and evangelist or volunteer, please reach out to myself or Naomi. You can reach us at blockchain@WWCode.com, or you can register on the WWCode website, and you'll find a volunteer form there, and you can fill that out, and that'll also come to us as well. But yeah, we're looking for people to help us run these events, and looking for people who could help out with social media. And we've got a list of volunteer roles ready. So our first onboarding session will be next Wednesday. So we'll be running an onboarding session every 2 weeks if you can't make the one next Wednesday. But yes, if you're interested, please reach out. And you can follow us on our social media pages. To register for events and join our community, please go to www.code.com/blockchain or email us if you would like to reach out. And our social media pages are here as well. So we have our Twitter account, which is at WWCode Blockchain, and also our Instagram there as well. And we also have a LinkedIn page too. And that's us for today. So thank you, everyone. I hope you all have a great Friday and a great weekend. And yeah, so have a great day, everyone. And thank you very much, Iryna, again. Bye, everyone.